How do you get the first job as a game composer? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? This is Stephen Malin at Become a Game Composer, the show dedicated to helping you support your family composing game music online. So glad you decided to join us here today. We are going to tackle the top question that I get from budding game composers. I get this question almost on a daily basis, and it is simply, how do I get the first game project? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. A lot of game composers, when they first start out, they are actively trying to pursue game developers. They are going out of their way. They are cold calling, cold messaging. They're doing social media posts. They are doing everything they can to get the attention of game developers, hoping and just praying that they will hire them for the first game. Unfortunately, though, as many of you have already discovered by trying those methods, they don't work. At least they don't work very often. And unfortunately, by doing those methods, you're actually setting yourself up for a lot of failure, for a lot of declining, for a lot of rejection. There is a better way. In fact, there is an entire system that I've developed called the 10 Steps to Become a Game Composer. It's what this entire show is based around. 10 little baby steps that you take to attract game developers to you instead of you having to go out of your way and chasing them down. Because the whole basis here is that you want to be in the negotiating high ground. You never want to be in a position that you're chasing work. Otherwise, that comes across as desperate. And then you might end up doing things like trying to sell something in social media posts. Or you might create YouTube videos where you're trying to ask for work. Or worse, you might be sending personal DMs and emails asking for work. And it's just, while it can work sometimes, and I've had some success stories, and many composers have had success stories, but it's such a low percentage, and essentially you're trying to base your entire career off of hope instead of practical, proven strategies. Let's get to the meat of the conversation here. Here are 3 steps to get the first job as a game composer. Number 1, choose a game genre. Most composers fall into the classic trap of trying to be the master of everything, the jack of all trades, instead of the master of one. This is actually step 2 of the 10 steps to become a game composer that we talk about here on the show. And that is simply choose your ideal game genre. So what this means is, if you try to pursue all of the game genres, if you try to pursue shooter games, Metroidvanias, RPGs, and everything in between, you are setting yourself up for failure, because there is no way that you can be amazing at all of those things. And quite frankly, from the game developer's perspective, they don't want to hire someone that's just okay at that one specific thing, right? They want someone who's amazing at their favorite genre. And the conflict here, and really the reason that there's so much difficulty doing this as a composer, is we want as much work as possible, but it's actually quite the opposite. The psychological subtlety here is that if you can choose one genre and you can market yourself as the guy for that one genre, you're going to get more work. And perhaps that could be the very thing that is stopping you from getting your first game music job. In order to choose one game genre, it's important that your marketing and your branding is consistent. So this means on your YouTube channel, on your SoundCloud, on your social media, on your website, anywhere that someone can find you online, SEO, search engine optimization. So if someone goes to Google and types in your name or types in the exact genre that you want to be known for, your name better come up. And I promise that if you start to niche down as we talk about here on the show, the micro niche process of going multiple layers deep. So in my instance, I actually have 4 layers deep, and you could add a 5th if you'd like. The first is I'm a music composer. The second is that I'm a music composer for video games exclusively, also known as step 1 of the 10-step process. Number 3, I am an adventure video game music composer. Layer 4, I am a 2D adventure video game music composer. And then if you want to tag on layer 5, I do all of that in Atlanta, Georgia, because that's my geographical location, and I'm the only one who does it in Atlanta. Therefore, any game developers who write for those types of games in Atlanta, I'm the go-to guy automatically, just for my branding alone. So it's a very powerful way to market yourself online to get exactly the games that you want. Step 2, attract your ideal game developers. Now that you've chosen one ideal game genre to pursue as your career, now we can start attracting game developers. This is the whole point, right? We want game developers to come to us. Now, it's not enough for them to just come to us and send us individual emails, whatever. What we really want is for this process to be automated, to be automatic while you're sleeping, while you're doing other work. More game developers are coming to hire you, which ultimately means that you can say no once your schedule gets full, and you can raise your prices to do less work and do more of what you love. The way that we set this up is we put out free YouTube videos, free SoundCloud tracks, and social media posts. What this does is whenever someone searches for your specific genre through hashtags, let's say they go to YouTube and they type in the search bar, free 2D adventure game music. My channel will be the first one that comes up every single time, because my channel is literally called Music for 2D Games, and every video on my channel is a free track. When a developer goes to one of my YouTube videos, they can go down to the description and click on the link that allows them to download that track for free, and they get the free 2D adventure game music pack, which is a music pack I created as a lead magnet. That's a $19 value. So here, right in this first few minutes, they now have extreme value added to them for free. And in exchange, they give me their email address. And now that they're added to my ConvertKit email sequence, they're going to start getting emails every single week that give them more free tracks. And then periodically, I can throw some sales emails in there where I ask them, hey, can I write a custom music track for your game? And you'd be shocked by how often these developers, now that you've warmed them up from cold to warm to hot leads, they're now ready to purchase from you, and they want that custom music because they've now experienced the best that you have to offer, and they're totally bought in. And even if they don't buy right away, they will eventually, because they're going to stay in your sales funnel and they will eventually buy. I use ConvertKit to make this possible. My favorite email software. It's super simple. You literally just have your broadcast emails, your sequences, and your automations. Very, very simple to use. If you're interested in creating a free ConvertKit account today, go to stephenmillen.com/ConvertKit. Completely free, and the limitations are actually quite flexible, and you can actually get quite a lot done even under the free. Now, that is an affiliate link that if you do decide to purchase one of their payment plans, that will support my channel at no additional cost to you. So thank you so much. Step 3, sell at the right price. Now that you've set up an automated machine that developers can just enjoy your content, subscribe to your email list, and now they are inside your sales funnel, you now have an amazing situation where you're going to start to get job offers. And when they do, the question arises, how much do you charge? How much should you price yourself? Well, I already have videos talking specifically about that topic. If you click the card above my head on the YouTube video or down in the description below in the podcast, you can click that and watch that video. But my favorite way to bypass all negotiating phases is to use a rate calculator. I also have a video, and I'll post that above as well and below in the description. So a rate calculator is something that you embed on your website on your hire page, And what it does is it just has a few little sliders, and it allows the developer to slide around to get an estimate of how much it's going to cost to hire you for their game. And what's so cool about this is it changes very subtly. It's a psychological shift where it changes the question in their mind from should I buy to how much should I buy? Did you notice that? So when they see the rate calculator, they are now going into their minds and they're asking, should I hire for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes? And they're seeing all the prices there as they play with the little sliders. And it answers their questions. It saves you the hassle of having to negotiate anything. And it completely removes the need to have any kind of conversation about it. So it's one of the best ways that I have ever found to not only get more gigs, but to increase your revenue. In my business, using a rate calculator, my revenue has increased 500%. This is something you absolutely should be using. It's super easy to set up. Go watch that rate calculator video and you'll get it all set up for yourself. Thanks for watching here on the Become a Game Composer YouTube channel and podcast. So glad that you spent some time with us today. Now, I have more chats coming up the rest of this year. I am so excited about industry guests coming on, having some amazing conversations. I'm going to even have some chats with you guys here in the audience. And then, of course, more videos and chats just like this, where we're talking through just some of your top questions. I talk to you guys all the time and actually have a running spreadsheet of your top questions, and I want to make sure that I'm getting exactly the value that you need. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel or to the podcast, I would really appreciate that. More chats like this every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's question of the day: what step are you on? We talked about 3 steps here today of how to get that first job as a game composer. Are you stuck on one of these 3? Is something holding you back? I want to hear. So post in the comments below. You can always leave an iTunes review, and I read all of those. I want to hear what's going on in your journey. One more resource I have for you guys. If you are interested in becoming a full-time game composer who supports their family, then I want you to go read my very short guide, 10 Steps to Become a Game Composer. You can grab that at stephenmalin.com/10 steps. That's spelled number 10 steps. I'll see you guys next week.